No, I just want to come into the show and be ready.
Yeah,
come in earlier when we're all here.
I'm just
6:30.
like, when we roll into the show, I want to be professional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I hear you.
That was
So go ahead.
chaotic
Let's
like I
intro.
want
Mics are on.
Oh shit! Hey everybody, welcome to Lock Pod. This is the Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast, and we're coming live to you from the Powering, Indiana Lake County studio. Thank you to Nika and to IBW.
By the way, we figured out what happened to your mic.
It was falling down.
Rick Baltonsberger misprint.
Yeah, I think John nailed that during the show.
John, you did, and he confirmed it.
Allegedly. Oh, he did.
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't you?
Yeah, I
Oh,
mean
I
something
confirmed it?
obviously happened.
John confirmed it.
Yeah, something was not right.
We got Johnny Law Cantrell live in
Hey,
the studio.
good morning, everybody.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here. Season 11 has been great, honestly.
Oh, thanks, John.
the best.
I've heard that from a lot of people.
It's been
True.
huge.
Dozens
Huge?
of people.
I love
Huge.
having JRC in the studio.
The best.
I like to be here because this is a place where I can be myself, talk shit.
That's what I say too.
Moderate potty talk. Like it's a good
Are
place
you
to
sure?
Hey, Linz, what's up?
Hello, what's up?
What's your hat say?
Hammond Boxing Club.
be. Hammond
Live.
Boxing,
Oh, where's the
yes.
lens cam? Where's the
Live.
notorious
Represent.
LMP?
Yes.
Hammond Boxing Club. You
Yes.
got the Victoria's Secret glasses on, I
I
noticed?
do.
I
Whoa.
knew there
Does
was
Brian like them?
Yes.
I ate dinner with your husband 2 days ago.
I know. I was at work.
Those
Yeah.
are really nice, Lens.
Thank you.
They're pretty.
You know, I have a pretrial ritual where I always eat at Arby's because it's luck, like that's what I do.
You know kids hate
But what do you
Arby's.
go with that?
What?
Like bacon and cheddar,
No,
roast beef?
French
the
dip.
Market Fresh roast turkey ranch and bacon.
Oh, that
with
is good.
curly fries.
That
and,
is good.
And
That's the sandwich,
With
right?
curly fries.
Lindsay's husband goes to Arby's at least 2 days a week based on
Because you see him there.
Because whenever I'm in
Correct.
trial,
Oh,
I'm in trial,
I got you. You
yeah,
guys are the same Arby's.
Brian
Yeah.
loves Arby's.
He does. He really
Wow.
does.
I had
yeah.
Wait.
never had Arby's until I started dating him, and I realized that.
You know why?
That was a mistake because Arby's is delicious.
It is.
I agree with you.
I mean,
Fire.
can't you can't? Some things you
It
can
is
find
fire.
nowhere else. Okay,
Arby's
horsey
is-
sauce.
Yes.
Can't find it anywhere.
Arby's
else.
is awesome.
Jamocha shake. Where else can you get a coffee shake?
If I'm going
nowhere.
to a steakhouse, I want to bring Arby's horsey sauce in my pocket.
Agree.
So I can
Yeah,
use
dude,
it. Yeah, yeah.
Or mix it with the Arby's sauce.
you
Try
know
that.
why? You know why kids hate Arby's? Lindsay?
It's expensive.
No. Are you serious? I thought you were gonna see my daughter and I have this connection, and I was just like, boom! I'm gonna roll right into the reason. And I know you know this, Lindsay,
Why?
because the reason we didn't get Arby's when the kids were growing up is because they watched a Simpsons episode, and Simpsons made fun of Arby's.
Really?
Oh.
And the whole generation of kids freaking gave up on Arby's because of that
Really?
stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right, Lynn?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't
They were
remember
like,
that
it was like
episode.
punishment. They were talking about it. If you don't be good, I'm going to take you to Arby's. And they're like, no! And then every kid in America stopped eating Arby's. I tell you, if you talk to
Damn.
Arby's president would confirm
I would
what I'm
love to
telling
see
you.
those numbers.
wonder-
And by the way, we don't tell you bullshit on Lockpod. You know, you
true.
think this is bullshit,
I
but it
don't
turns out to
know.
be true
There's a
sometimes.
lot
We're
of
gonna get into
bullshit
that.
on this website or on this.
Well, we were
podcast.
right about the sheriff's situation, weren't we?
Wait a minute. Yeah, we're gonna get into that.
We're gonna get into that, but
John's
were
looking
we?
up Simpsons.
John,
they
could
did
you help
a
me?
lot of Arby's references.
Hey there,
apparently.
Kirk. Oh, boy, what's going on? Patio party?
Nah, possum drowned in the pool. You have any garbage bags?
Just throw it over
Are
the
we gonna get
fence.
in
Let
trouble
Arby's
for
worry
this?
about it.
No, let Arby's worry about it.
I'm so hungry I could
What did
eat
he say?
at Arby's.
Jeez.
Gosh.
That's the one. That's the one right there. Yeah.
I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's.
I'm so hungry. That's the one.
And the kids are like, ew.
I'm so hungry I could eat at Arby's.
And
That was the
everyone
one.
freaks out.
That's the one.
That's terrible.
It killed that company.
I bet you there's an article that
About
talks
that.
about how it affected their stock prices for sure.
Or
Dude,
yeah,
if we had the Arby, let's get Steve. I want the Arby CEO on next week's episode.
talk about how the Simpsons.
And I want to
affected it.
apologize to him because Arby's is delicious.
I agree.
Oh my god, their chicken sandwiches! I like
Arby's
my first time
rocks.
having it. I had like a life-changing experience. It was so
Let's
good.
all reflect on something. If you ask any kid in America where they want to go, they want Happy Meals.
right?
So no
Yeah,
no
they
kid's
don't
going
have
to say
kids'
Arby's
meals
anyway.
at Arby's.
No.
No,
That's
they
true.
don't. Yeah.
Because Arby's is so good, they don't need that shit.
well, it's like it's a sea of old people there and me.
True.
And,
Because the people that don't watch
and
The
Brian,
Simpsons.
Yeah.
And they have the
Yeah.
worst drive-throughs.
Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Like the
Yeah.
reverse
Yeah.
side. They didn't build
Dude.
the buildings the right way.
Right.
What
The
is
one
that about?
on the
They
Ridge
didn't.
Road.
They didn't build them the right way. They
You
didn't
have
build
to go to a machine and it kicks your food to you.
like over
Which
the
always
top
gets
of you.
stuck. It's
It always
so
gets
ridiculous.
stuck, and it doesn't work. Sometimes it goes, and you have to open the passenger
Yeah,
window to
mine
get it.
by my house
Goes
has like a
over.
little like
Yeah.
receptacle that's like it goes in and it comes out. You
Put your
card
debit
in.
card in
It's
a
so
cup.
lame.
Hey, you know what was not in the notes? The Arby's segment.
You're
Here
right.
was-
No, Arby's
Yeah.
is freelance. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what
This is all
happens.
freelance.
They got
Yeah.
rid of the potato cakes though.
What?
for-
What?
Yeah, they've
Yes.
been gone for years.
Too many
There's
people
no
are-
potato cakes at
No.
Arby's.
Too many people are having heart attacks.
That's terrible.
I'm kidding about
They got to
that.
bring those back.
Yeah. Who doesn't want a giant tater tot? Come on.
Me.
Yeah.
I want one.
Yes. Yeah. Throw some cheese in there and some horsey sauce.
I don't know
Bingo.
what
Let's
a
go.
potato cake is, so obviously it's been
Oh.
gone for a while.
Oh,
Okay.
boy.
Hey, Jay Vez,
Hey,
Enough Arby's talk.
that last show was funny. I listened to it on Saturday.
which last
Which
show?
last?
Your show.
Oh, the one. Okay.
The one where you had Jeff
Two
Long?
ago.
I had, two
Yeah.
ago. I hadn't listened to it. I know you did live, didn't you, Kevin?
No, we listened to it to pre-show for the last show
I
with the
did
questions.
not. I did not.
Yes,
Yeah,
so we
I
could
know.
go over the quiz.
And then you pointed out it. We already talked about this, but I just wanted to confirm. I watched the show. My streak is intact. I've watched every Lockpod episode.
When
I've
you
listened
guys
to.
when you guys listened to that episode, Tom and Kevin,
Yeah.
do you think it changed you at all? Like, oh, this is how people see me. This
no,
is,
it confirmed
No,
a lot
no.
of things.
Yes,
Yeah,
I agree
yeah.
with you, Kev.
How-
No, and then like there was one. I think you and I. The funny thing is, when we came on the show the next day, we were
Yeah.
just answering them immediately.
Yeah.
because Kevin and I, between us, know, like Kevin could outdrink me, no doubt about it,
Of course.
without a doubt.
You
That'd
could
be like
outsmoke
asking-
me.
Yeah,
He's
I
an
could totally
actively
outsmoke Kevin.
practicing
who could
lawyer.
smoke more weed?
That's pretty
yeah,
easy.
That's an easy
Willie
answer.
Nelson or Tom McDermott?
Could I?
That's a good
I would
question.
freaking hang. I
Who's
would
more
hang.
likely to wear a bathing suit at a nudist colony? Kevin.
Yes,
Yeah,
Like,
agreed.
these are
Easy questions.
Dude, I'm Irish, so I'm
Softball,
not going to be freaking showing
It
off.
might be
like,
neither.
literally.
Yeah.
I'm like, hey guys, what's up? Like,
But I mean, you have to be somewhat of a nudist to be a triathlete, right? Because you're in a thong speedo.
dude, I tell you what
Yeah.
though, when you're on triathlon, sometimes you go to the bathroom and like sometimes you have no options. How about
Number
that?
2.
No, I'm not
Oh.
shitting myself, John. Like, I don't care how what my time is. I'm not shitting myself.
Okay, but why wouldn't you train yourself? Why wouldn't you
I
train
don't care
yourself?
what my time.
to,
Yeah, like I got my world record time going.
No, all you got to do is
Like-
poop yourself right when you're
pants.
getting ready to get in the water.
What
you
are
clean
we
yourself.
talking
Or you
about?
could just wake up and go to the bathroom.
disgusting.
Normally,
Okay.
Let's
Or you
start
could
the
use
whole
the porta
show
potty in
over.
between changes.
well, like okay, how about this? Because when you're drinking and
Mm-hmm.
like drinking water, and then that bike ride is. So my swim is like a half hour because I'm slow. But I know I'm not going to drown. But I get done.
You can pee in the lake.
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. But like sometimes you don't think about it because maybe the water's freezing freaking cold and you're just not like
You're just
thinking
trying to get
straight.
done with it.
You're just like freezing and you don't think about peeing. Like, but I get on my bike and I'm like, oh crap,
I think that's appropriate.
I forgot
take
to
a
pee.
crap.
As long as no one's like,
no, I did not have to take a crap.
as
I had
long
to
as
go.
no one's like right behind you, so that it's like,
You're like,
you're like,
spraying
hey
on 'em.
dude, you're
Believe it or not, you're by yourself a lot on the.
Have you
on the
ever
track.
have you ever like been still riding and you're riding your bike and you whip it out and you pee as you're riding?
No, I didn't whip it out.
Okay.
you can just
Just
pee.
pees
Yeah.
through the
I just
shorts.
you
But
have
why-
like a diaper on. I mean, let's be honest, it's a padded bike short,
But
and it was like hot, so like eventually you're dry. Great. I wouldn't be licking my legs or anything like that after that, you know.
Okay,
like,
yeah.
but Marissa, believe it or not, she doesn't lick my legs very often.
Wow.
So,
Wow. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Right.
This
So you don't have to worry about that.
you
then.
do-
Very often. I
Very often.
You do have a birthday
Shut up,
coming
Todd.
Valentine's Day is
Yeah.
coming up.
You got and a birthday. You got a
Marissa,
birthday coming up
they
as
will
well.
be clean. I promise.
I think.
Hey
By the way,
man,
Marissa
off the
just
rails,
blew my
John.
mind in
I know.
chat. She just blew my mind in chat.
Yeah?
Marissa.
What'd she say?
Arby's equals RB
Yeah, roast.
equals roast beef.
beef.
I did not know
yeah,
that ever.
that's true.
Yeah.
I forgot where I heard that.
Marissa.
Simpsons.
No,
Simpsons.
no, we watched it. It was on something. It was
RBs.
Oh,
RB
it was it the
stands for
food
roast
that
beef.
built America? I love that show.
It might have been actually. Marissa watches that all
I
the time.
love that show.
Marissa watches that all the time.
Oh, it's so engaging.
I remember this funny story about Marissa. Because going back to can Kevin outdrink me? Okay, I remember the last time I was drunk. Okay, I remembered it. It was like 6 or 7 years ago.
Okay.
How about this? It was when Jonathan Weinzapper ran for Attorney General. This is the last time I was drunk, Kevin. I don't know if you remember this.
What year was that?
This is 8 years ago.
Okay.
Right? 4 years ago. Who was it?
For what? Attorney General?
AJ. Was that Jonathan? Yeah, it was 4 years
Jonathan
ago.
Weinzapper.
So it was
He was
4
running
years
during
ago.
the
That's the last
pandemic.
time I
Yeah,
was
he
drunk.
running during the pandemic.
Mhm.
Okay, 4 years ago. That was the last time I got drunk.
He was
'cause
on the show.
Jonathan and I are friends. He was mayor, elected
Yeah.
at the same time I was.
Lock podcast.
Lock podcast. Jonathan's like, hey, I'm going to come to the region. You mind going out to dinner with me so I can get some ideas on who I should talk to? I'm like, no problem, mayor. And we met for dinner at Gambas. And I'll never forget
Hell
this.
of a dinner to have in Northwest Indiana.
Mhm.
Right.
Best.
Yeah, the Gambas is the best. We
Yeah.
should get them as an ad. But anyway, because they could take
Steve,
take
hop
law
on that,
office at
Steve.
Cantrell's place.
No, no, we just took a sabbatical. we just took a sabbatical.
I'm fine with it. I didn't object.
Yeah, we're coming back.
So
he,
anyway,
he objected. I
he was
didn't.
very
Yeah.
defensive.
I'm
But
right with you, dude.
So I'm sitting at dinner, and I forgot that morning the city did a blood drive. So like this is a warning to people. I don't even
Okay.
think about this. So I
Sure.
do the blood drive. I give like a pint of blood or whatever you give, right?
You have a
And
couple
then that
bottles of
night,
wine.
I'm sitting with Jonathan drinking wine, right? Just like normally I would at dinner. We had maybe a bottle, maybe we had 2 bottles. There was 3 people there. Okay, so I'm drinking a decent, but I could drink a 2/3 bottle of wine, and
You'd be
crawl.
wasted.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I get
yeah.
an Uber or something, right?
Yeah.
Well, in this case, it's so weird because Marissa also was at Gambas that night. And it was coincidental. She was at another thing. I was at a thing. And she comes up to me and she's like, hey, honey, I'm going to drive you home tonight. And I'm like, why? And she's like, because you're wasted. And I'm like, I'm wasted? And I'm like, holy shit, I'm wasted. And I was like, how did this happen? I was wasted at this dinner. And then I realized it was because I gave
Did you
blood
ever
that
follow
morning.
up with Jonathan and say, was I
did.
wasted?
I did. No, he didn't even notice. But
Wow.
I did. When Marissa, it was so funny. She just came up to me out of nowhere. She's like, hey, you can go home with me tonight. I'm like, why, honey?
So
You're,
don't give blood.
Because you're wasted.
She
I'm
was
like,
so
hitting
funny.
on you, Dad.
She was
like, you could go home
that's
with
how
me.
that's how it rolls.
Tom.
Did the licking the legs get brought up at that?
Yeah.
moment?
No.
Meet me in the coat room at Gambas in 8 minutes.
It's a big coat room.
You're
Yeah.
wasted.
Yeah, it's a big coat room.
Yeah,
yeah.
no doubt.
So anyway, it was a good show, John. And hey, you guys did that story about the dudes in
That was interesting.
Kansas City. Was it Kansas? I know they were
Yeah,
Chief
Kansas
fans.
City.
Froze to death in their
Dude, as soon
backyard.
as I heard that story, I knew what happened. And now it's
course.
honest to God. Like, how did we not know? We get texted every day about this shit, right? 3 people go in the backyard and all of them die. It's fentanyl. There's no doubt in my mind. And
Well, how about the guy whose house it was? He survived. He said that he was asleep for over a day, and he was sleeping with noise-canceling headphones. And when the cops came to the door, he was in like a bathrobe drinking a bottle of wine. What's staged about that?
he probably did fentanyl. He probably did it also,
I
and
agree.
he didn't die. Maybe
Yeah,
they did
I'm
a
with
line in
that.
the backyard.
They all did
But
it.
by the way, he immediately checked himself into rehab right after this, and there's no foul play suspected.
So that means this guy is going to get charged with dealing, causing death, 3 counts. 'Cause
Maybe.
I'm assuming
Okay.
that
Unless they all bought it.
Well, someone else
What if
could
they
have
brought
it there.
Right.
but
What if they brought it to him? That's what I would say.
Nothing.
I was
Yeah,
like, hey,
yeah.
the guy that died brought it to me.
So
or what if, yeah.
This is what the coroner's
Yeah,
office does.
I agree with that.
When somebody dies of fentanyl in Lake County, they come in and take the person's phone, and there's an investigation launched.
that's true.
in
That's
where
true.
it came from. So
That's
they're going to get
true.
all.
I
these
like it
people's
if they go
phones.
get the dealers.
No, that's true. Oh, and they do. But
Yeah,
like that's
they
true
need
though.
to.
So
Yeah.
if the homeowner that was drinking wine and lived is the one that supplied the cocaine that killed everybody.
Well, what if he just bought it? Like, is that, would that be, that's
I
not
think it's
dealing,
It's strict
right?
liability. No, it's if you share drugs with someone else, you're dealing technically.
I like that law.
For no purchase
for
price?
no purchase price because, and this is why they had to close that loophole.
Really?
If there's no money exchange.
So if I just
it's-
have a bag of cocaine and you and I do it and you die and I don't, I'm liable for your death.
You're liable for dealing?
whoever it was, and you give it to somebody, that's technically dealing drugs.
Wow.
If the threshold for dealing is so low in the law.
Is that because it's fentanyl or?
No, it's just it's dealing. So
No requirement to exchange anything for value.
correct. If you were in the passenger seat and the driver and the guy at the gas station you were just passing stuff through the door. If it was in a brown paper bag, you're not guilty of dealing. But if you're passing drugs, you're technically dealing.
Remember that.
If you find, I went to trial.
Anything honestly, if I have marijuana, it's from a dispensary.
Yeah.
And it's not going to kill anybody.
And we're gonna
because
talk about that in
It's
the
from a
second
dispensary,
segment.
and there's something to be said about that. That when you're buying it in a legal transaction in a state that's legal, and if you smoke it, you're not going to freaking die of fentanyl poisoning.
It's regulated.
It's regulated.
There's
There's something to be said about
And
that,
that's
right?
why we like legalization.
Agree, but there's something to be said about that, and we're going to get into that in the second segment.
But you have to be really careful. I had a trial for a girl who found her boyfriend's drugs in her underwear drawer. He left for work. She was at the house. She found the drugs. She's like, you need to come get these out. I don't want them in my house right now. He had one of his buddies go in and get them from her, and the guy was a confidential informant. So all she did was hand the drugs out of her house. She got charged with dealing. It was a hung jury, and she ended up pleading guilty to
They went to
possession.
trial on that?
That's
Possession?
stupid.
Yeah,
For dealing?
What was it? Cocaine?
Yeah.
I mean,
It was a chunk.
Was it federal?
a chunk. Yeah, it was a federal case.
Right.
Yeah.
Wow.
yeah.
Yeah,
If
so-
you're dealing in cocaine, if you're dealing
But she
in
wasn't
Heroin.
dealing. She
Heroin,
wanted them out of her
fentanyl.
house.
But like what I'm saying is, if you're dealing in marijuana, you're probably gonna. If you get in trouble, it's probably gonna be a state level charge. True, John.
Unless it's
A
pounds.
lot. Unless I was going to say,
like
unless
the
it's
guy,
volume.
the guy that just got busted with all the THC cartridges,
He's-
he had like 500 cartridges on
the
him.
feds will take that.
I tell you what, that guy should go to prison.
I
Honestly,
agree.
and I'm a marijuana advocate. People know that, but there's a certain point where you say this is too much. I think if you have over an ounce, you're up to no good.
Let me ask you this: like, if you buy like maybe like a $75 cart, it's a 1 gram cart.
Uh-huh.
to
Right.
ingest THC
It's
through
like
a vape pen.
It's like 50 in Michigan.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so yeah,
right.
but if you buy in Cal City,
Yeah.
it's,
Dad's like,
it's like
"It's
$30 more
cheaper in
dollars.
It's a
Yeah.
lot cheaper. It's
Yeah.
probably 35 in Michigan.
Go north.
Yes.
Twice
not
as
west.
expensive in Illinois.
If you have 10 of those in your car,
Uh-huh.
it's a level 2 felony.
Mm-hmm.
You're looking at 10 to 30 years. That's
Agreed.
considered dealing weight. So if you went to Michigan and everybody was giving you money, like all your friends in high school, or
Yeah.
Or
your
you're just
friends
buying
in
it
college.
for
But
like
you're
a-
dealing,
or you're
but
just
that's
buying it for a
dealing,
long
John.
time.
What
Yeah.
you're saying is everybody gives you money. That is dealing.
That's a
Right,
good
but
point.
you're just giving
Right.
it, you're giving
Right.
it to your 2 roommates in your apartment at Purdue Cal, and you're
Right.
driving up there, so each of you gets
How much are you going to have? 3 each?
Yeah, you
That's
got 3 each.
Dude, a 3 will last you like 3 months, man.
Yeah, so if you go
You're
up
like,
to-
I don't want to go here for 6 months. I'm getting all.
if you have over 5, I mean, it's
Yeah.
it's
No, I agree with you, man.
Well, that's a
It's
good
6
reason.
years in
That's why.
prison.
And again, this just kind of underscores how ridiculous it is that it shouldn't be legal
But
everywhere.
also-
I'm not saying that
But the
dealing
guy
weight,
that had
dealing weight
five-
should still be dealt
The guy
with.
that had 500 should
Agree.
That was totally
Indiana
fine.
needs to fix it because you're hurting a bunch of young people, because anybody who gets caught with a vape cartridge or a vape pen is charged with possession of a controlled substance. It's not even considered marijuana in Indiana. So dealing a controlled substance, possession of a controlled substance.
Is that an often charge?
Yes.
Vape cartridge?
Yes.
You
Can you
how do
Vape
they treat that?
cartridges Or
It-
like
it's just
weed
possession of
cartridges?
marijuana.
No, it's the same thing, Lens. Like the oil that John's talking about, THC oil.
It's considered a controlled substance in
So
the
they
state of
treat that
Indiana.
lightly, though, right?
Well, I mean, it's treated as
Do
weed,
you
but
do
the
like
way it's
possession of marijuana at the end of the day? Did they end up pleading to that?
no, that's how it's charged, and so they'll plead to possession of a controlled substance.
or conditional discharge or something like that. Or
You can usually keep that off people's record as long as it's not a bunch and they're not doing bad
John, do they
stuff.
will they charge a vape if you have a vape pen that's empty? Will they charge you paraphernalia or no?
Well, yeah, because there's still going to be residue on it, so technically it's the same charge. But what I will say is, look at your pen. Look at your pen. Nobody knows what it is, but if you have one with a bunch of weed stickers on it, or it says that it's
Yeah,
for weed,
it's
you're
got
just
that- it's
asking
got
for
the-
trouble.
So a lot of these pens don't pay for anything. So you do not buy a pen that has anything
With
on it at all.
marijuana,
You
right.
can't tell. Just like your gummies.
Because you could say, I smoke cigarettes with
Yeah.
this. It's
Put your
nicotine.
gummies in a
It's
different
nicotine.
bottle.
Right.
Put your
Yeah.
gummies in a different pack. Don't
So
say
lie to
weed
the police
gummies.
is what you're saying.
No.
Okay.
Just
Don't
trick
make it
tell the
easy.
truth.
Trick them.
Don't make it
trick them.
easy.
Trick
Yes.
them.
Or no,
Trick
just don't
them.
give them the probable cause
Yeah,
that they need to
if
charge
it's got a
you.
marijuana leaf on it, you could say I'm smoking cigarettes. They're like, then why's the marijuana leaf on
Right,
it?
right.
I'm passionate about
At the end of-
horticulture.
At the end of the day,
Yeah,
the
I
police
love
are going to
leaves.
do what they have to do. If the probable cause is sitting right in front of them, they're going to be like, "Oh, I got to do
Right.
it."
You're like, look at this bottle, officer. This says fiber gummies. I have constipation.
Yeah,
you
you want
dick,
me-
leave me
It's
alone.
no different
Yeah.
than Metamucil.
And
Yeah,
they're not
it's
going to
just in a gummy
go
form.
take that,
They could.
test it.
They could. They
but
could. If they
Chances are.
They could. But they could. But the
They
chances
could.
are they're not.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, just don't
a lot
wear
of
your
work.
deadhead shirt while you're driving.
Yeah, Dad.
These are fiber gummies.
Yeah. If my ass are fiber gummies, deadhead.
I mean, there's a lot of deadheads with constipation
you
issues.
dirty
yeah.
hippie.
Because they're all
They're old.
Yeah, it's true. Speaking of, I gotta
didn't
leave
say
real quick. Hey, Lockpod, like I was saying earlier, Lockpod is we feed you a lot of BS, but sometimes we get it right. You know what I'm saying? Like, and in this one, I hate to say it, we were dead right. We were dead right on the Lake County Sheriff. And there was, I listen to everything. I read everything. Okay, there was nobody telling the truth about what was going to happen to Sheriff Oscar Martinez. He was charged with a felony over a traffic offense. I've said numerous times, I'm standing by it. It was the most expensive traffic ticket in Lake County's history. And what ultimately happened is what we said all along. Sheriff Oscar Martinez yesterday pled guilty to a misdemeanor reckless driving. The case is over. He's still our sheriff. He gets to carry his weapon. This bullshit 2-year waste of taxpayer money is finally over. The special prosecutor is taking his tens of thousands of dollars he made and driving back to Evansville. Good riddance. What a joke.
I think, well, interesting, right? Because I think we had been hounding this over several seasons, really, because as you mentioned, it's been quite a saga for the sheriff, but about how it was being dealt with and how it should have been dealt with. If you were any other Lake County citizen, we said you'd be getting a plea deal for reckless driving.
Yeah.
And thank God it finally ended up. Good. I mean, great for the sheriff. I'm happy for him. I'm glad it's behind him. I'm glad he can get back to doing what he wants to do, which is serving the citizens of Lake County. He's a great sheriff, in my opinion. And, I think it's appropriate and good for him.
Did this come as a surprise to you guys? Because 2
Yeah.
days ago,
Yes.
there was this update on the trial might be extended, or
Yeah.
delayed. I mean,
Let
where
me
did
tell you
this come
something.
from?
I
Where
know
did that-
some
what
stuff,
happened?
and I didn't talk to the sheriff, but I know some stuff. There was some stuff that came out with this delay it was newly discovered evidence. We talked about it on the show that involved Lake County politicians and high-ranking Lake County lawyers that were about to get deposed. And it was revealed that they were part of this whole indictment process, and it was never given to them during discovery. And the next round of discovery that Attorney Strachey was going to be doing was going to make a lot of politicians extremely uncomfortable. Extremely. So what's the easiest way to get out of getting deposed if you're a politician? Let's settle this goddamn case. Let's get out of this
let's
thing.
not pursue this
right?
any further.
And they offered Oscar what he should have been offered from
but wait, you
freaking
don't-
day one.
You don't think that they had any ability to go to the prosecutor? I mean,
Yes.
It's prosecutor that decides that.
Oh,
John.
really? Lake County's so pure, right?
Well, no, I'm just saying that I don't.
They're all following the rules.
It doesn't seem like they would go to the prosecutor and be able to influence him. They might have said,
Then
like,
how
we're
could you
not going to
explain?
get deposed. We're going to
Okay.
file motions or protective orders.
How can
or-
you explain a complete 180 by the special prosecutor after 2 years of litigation?
My
a complete
opinion,
180.
My opinion is that potentially, well, two things. One, hopefully the prosecutor realized that Oscar should be treated just like everybody else. That'd be one.
Okay.
Two, I think the motion practice that Strachey's been doing, along with his associates or partners, has been pretty effective. Because I read those last several motions, John. I'm on John's take on this. I read a lot of those motions, and if you take what the defense was saying, there's a potential issue with exculpatory evidence and some information that they didn't get.
So if you look at the docket, and if you're an attorney and you pay for access, or if you are part of the press, you can click on these documents and see what they say. If you can't, you can still look at the docket on mycase.com, and you can check out the case, and you can see everything that was filed. 2 motions to suppress, a motion to continue the trial, a demand for additional evidence, new discovery was filed. So when you're seeing all these things, you're like, okay, either the trial's getting continued or we got a resolution coming. That's just practically speaking.
I don't think they were planning a resolution when they first filed the motions on Friday. How about that?
I agree.
On Friday, I don't think that the defense knew they were going to get offered a reckless driving plea on Friday.
Sure.
No.
Yeah, I think.
And
well,
then on Sunday, I talked to the sheriff, and he told me this thing's about to be done. And I
great.
was like, what? And
Great news.
he's like, don't say anything to anybody. I don't want to fuck anything up. But on Monday, I should be submitting a plea for misdemeanor reckless driving. And I almost started crying. I was like, thank God, Oscar. I think Oscar is the best sheriff I've ever worked with. I think he's unbelievable. He's a great person. He's got a great family. He works super hard, and he was totally persecuted for political bullshit.
And
he shouldn't have been driving that fast.
Yeah.
But he was totally persecuted for political bullshit.
Well, I think that's the thing is that, like, to me, what he said at the plea hearing was appropriate. He said, I expect more of myself. I shouldn't have been going that fast.
That's right.
And I think that's right. He probably shouldn't have been going that fast. But he shouldn't have been charged with fleeing as a felony.
I get pulled over by Hammond cops once a year, and I pull over. And I don't drive like 95 miles an hour in my city, okay? And that's the city I've been in charge of for 20 years. I could probably be presumptuous like that and think there's no way a cop's going to pull me over. I just don't. I drive
I just
40
appreciate
miles
what
an
he
hour.
said yesterday. I have a lot of respect for him, and I'm glad
love
he's a
Oscar.
stellar sheriff. So
I think if you had 27 police officers here from different departments and you ask them what happens when you're driving in your own car or your unmarked car and you come into contact with an officer, they flash their lights.
Bingo.
They say, hey, I'm a cop. And that's when the situation ends.
That's right.
That's
what
true.
happened here, by the
Yes,
way.
yes.
That's true, too.
If you read the probable
Yeah.
cause affidavit, the police from Crown Point backed off when Oscar flashed his
That's right.
lights.
And so that's
not resisting.
Like, let's say that he kept going after, and they wouldn't stop, and they pursued him, and they had their lights going on. They go bloop bloop, and they hit that funky noise. That's when a crime occurred, in my opinion. Here, this is just a classic officer who was going probably a little bit too fast. And how many times do you see a cop on the highway? They're going somewhere, or cops drive fast,
Even through town.
All the time.
I did a ride along and we hit real fast speeds.
This is how they drive. They have
Yeah.
extra special training.
Yeah.
And
Brian Miller, the former chief of Hammond, used to drive me around.
Yeah.
He drives like a freaking maniac.
Yes.
But honestly, he would drive like super fast, but he was trained to drive like that.
And as a citizen, even though I know that it may not be, quote unquote fair that police can flash their lights and go away. I mean, I
That's true.
accept that as that's kind of part of the gig.
When you become a cop, you're probably
Yeah.
never going to get a speeding ticket
yeah,
again.
fair enough. I mean,
Right.
it's just
Because you
accept
flash the
that.
badge and the other cops are like, okay, no problem.
Right, or flash my lights.
If you want to not get tickets, become a Hammond cop.
that's right.
Or,
we need them.
we need them. Like, come on, sign up. So-
Let's say you can pass a test on the highway and you can drive drive like an asshole. You can go up to 100, but you pass this extra test. A lot of people would practice. They go to schools and they get
yeah.
that
I
endorsement.
do that.
Hell
So,
yeah.
That's
So
what policemen do,
these
or police
cops get
officers
so
do.
much
Sorry,
training.
They
policemen
should
and
Here,
offer
they
that.
get more
I would
training.
take my Mustang out there. Like, hell yeah, let's
I got
go.
an endorsement to go
I'd pay-
100.
Dude, you'd have to put something on the car because they'd be pulling you over all the time.
Yeah.
You know what you should do? Do a race on Klein Avenue. Shut it down.
Dude, don't be
Ooh.
telling my
Yes.
spot. Don't be telling my
That's the
spot.
Klein 500. I'm from East
Yeah, I was
Chicago.
gonna say,
I'm,
John
I'm
knows.
familiar with
Up
that
in
spot.
John
the
knows.
part of Klein Avenue up by East Chicago,
Yeah.
that bend.
Yeah, it hurts,
best.
hurt your
I've
stomach
done-
and you get a little scared. Yeah.
Dude, it does. Because
And
I want to hear his
It
craziest
smells
story.
real bad up there,
So,
too.
like, I was
Yeah.
driving north in my Mustang because when I want to blow off steam, sometimes I'll go north on Klein Avenue and I'll, like, make sure everything's cool. It's usually
Do
nighttime.
you flash your cop lights?
I think I said this story on Lockpot. I don't
think
have
you
cop light. So I'm driving north on Klein, John. I'm going like 56 miles an hour. Just barely. No, I was going fast. Okay. And you know, you're coming around that corner going left. You're heading towards the marina. And a freaking car was going the wrong way on the highway. And passed me.
Oh, my God.
It passed me on my right.
I think you have said this
I was in
story
the fast
before.
lane. The fucking car passed me on my right.
Ooh,
What's
that's scary.
your instinct when you see a car coming the wrong way on the highway? Is to go
To go the other way?
I would have hit it head on. So
Oh,
I had to
my.
stay in my lane while this asshole car was going the wrong way and passed me on the wrong side.
Yeah, that's
And I was doing like, by the way,
a collision you don't survive.
I would have been dead.
Yeah.
If we would have
How
hit
did the
at
mayor
wrong
die?
time.
Well,
He was doing 56 miles an hour on Klein Avenue.
Imagine being that guy going the wrong way on Klein Avenue and then you killed the mayor. Like,
yeah.
That would have been bullshit.
jail for
Because
life.
my Mustang is not
Immediately.
super. Like my truck, I got a shot. My Mustang.
Not the Mustang.
I'd
Oh,
be eating the engine.
They're not made for collision.
So, John, do you think, just kind of summarizing, I know you got to roll to court, as you always do. Like, do you think that, looking at it from a criminal defense perspective, that it was defended well?
Oh, for sure. It was.
Strachey defended it like a murder trial, right?
Well, he had to claw, and him and his office had to claw for the plea that was fair. And
I mean,
so
think about it. It already went up to Court of Appeals, back down.
Yeah.
if you think about this case, there is, and you can ask any criminal defense lawyer or somebody who does some criminal defense, people who get charged with resisting law enforcement and reckless driving will often get a deferral, depending
Right.
on, you know,
Wow.
like someone.
Right. First offense, clean
Depending
record.
on the circumstances,
right?
right?
You get
He's
a-
never been charged with a crime in
No
his life.
alcohol involved.
Right.
What does that mean? Deferral.
Deferral
keep
means
it off
you-
your record for
6 months.
or a
You
year.
stay out of trouble.
and it goes
cases
away like it
dismissed.
never happened, John.
So-
And by the way, John, if you got busted in a similar situation, they would offer that for you because you have a clean record, and you'd be like, "Yes, Your Honor."
Cleanish.
It
Right.
depends really how much the resisting is, because like most of these cases are like weaving in and out of traffic,
Right.
run 3 stop signs,
Right.
red light, cops almost hurt
Gotcha.
each other, and so
Right.
like they would make somebody plead guilty to reckless driving under these particular
Right.
circumstances. But if you went like 4 blocks and you're trying to get back to your house and maybe run in or escape when they couldn't catch you, you would probably get a deferral in that case.
Right.
And Oscar didn't even have that kind of confrontation because they stopped chasing him.
Let me ask
There
you a
was
question,
no
guys.
resisting.
Two experienced trial attorneys here. Okay, I'm going to say the over/under is $75,000. Okay, do you think the total cost of Oscar's defense
More.
to the Strachey law firm is
More.
higher
Oh,
than
I'm gonna
70?
say over.
Oh, okay,
I'm sorry,
could I
wait.
finish the question?
Sorry, I thought John was already answering. I thought he was
It's
getting ahead
like
of
your
me.
wives are like, "Hey, I want to have sex." You guys are like, "I'm done."
Over.
Right? It's like, oh, sorry.
Perfect analogy.
No licking the
Right?
legs
Like,
today.
Come on now. So the total cost of the defense, $75,000. That's my over/under guess.
I thought you were talking about the prosecution. Cause
No,
we-
I'm
yes, we'll
okay.
talk about
No,
that
I'm
next.
talking about Oscar had to come up with this amount of money to defend himself for a fucking traffic ticket.
75. I originally was going to go over.
Like you said,
I might go under.
It was appealed and it was
Yeah.
back
Right.
down and 2 years of litigation.
This is what
I don't know.
This is my
you
answer
say
to
under,
that.
Kev?
John's gonna know better, but I was gonna say under,
It's
even though I
mon-
said over first.
money well spent. That's
I
the
agree-
only
I
thing
agree
that
with
I
you.
can say.
Agree,
You talk about his
but agree.
pension,
Right.
his career.
His
When he
career, his
retires, he's
reputation.
gonna go. He's gonna go work for some other company. He's
right.
gonna be.
He's the former two-term Lake County sheriff who's loved. Okay, John, do you say over or under on $75,000 for the cost of the defense?
Oh, it had to be more.
Okay, I agree. By the way, I was thinking more like $100,000 that Oscar had to come up with. Now let me ask you for the defense. Same
I mean,
question.
the prosecution.
The prosecution. Excuse me.
More.
Because you have to pay.
Over.
You had to pay for a special judge and a special prosecutor. Special judge was from Newton
Well, that's not
County.
the prosecution, but yeah.
Special judge was from Newton County. Special prosecutor was from Evansville.
Yep.
And we had to pay for that guy from Evansville to drive to Lake County and back and stay in hotels and get paid. Obviously,
They get paid $200 an hour, and one of the first motions that Levko filed on the docket for this case, he asked for help. So they had another guy from Bloomington. His name is Dave Thomas.
It's always got to be from Southern Indiana, of course.
So I mean, you're talking about 5 hours from Evansville, $200 an hour. It's $1,000 for him to drive here. So do
One
that.
way.
Back.
One way.
$2,000. $2,000. By the way, nice little drive too. I've done it a few times. I didn't get paid for it.
I'm not a fan of that drive.
and
Too long.
and Bloomington is half that, so it's $500.
Half that shit. Bloomington's 4 hours, 3.5. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay.
3-way Kevin drive.
All right, 60%, and then that's just to come here before the hearing starts, before any research is done. And keep this in mind: Levko was hired to do the grand jury. So
That's
so you're
true, man.
talking
Right,
about
That's true. We had
what
grand
was the
jury,
bill
too.
at the end of
The grand jury is probably
process.
$20,000.
And so
Kevin, how much are you going
but
over on the defense?
Can I add one more? Can I add one more thing, Kevin? Because the Attorney General's office, they file all appeals on criminal cases.
Oh, so he didn't have to do the
So
appeal.
he was kibitzing and I'm sure consulting, and there were some billables during that time.
right,
dealing
but he
with the
didn't actually
Attorney
do the
General's
appeal.
office.
I forgot about that, John. Good call on
Yeah.
that.
You going
So
over
keep
or
that in
under
mind.
on 75,000 for Oscar's defense?
I'm going to go under still.
Okay.
I'm thinking
Because
Strachey gave him a
sometimes,
deal.
because sometimes,
Oh, she gave him
Yeah.
a deal for sure, but
'Cause
whatever
sometimes,
it was
John-
money well spent.
because sometimes criminal defense lawyers want that case, and they'll say, "Hey, it's a flat fee, right?"
Yeah, but not that.
'Cause,
case.
like-
Not that. Not this
But
one.
because like on a big criminal defense case, aren't you usually flat fee? Is that a safe statement, or do you go hourly a lot?
It depends. It depends. Like if you look at all the motions that they had to file, that's not
Hourly.
somebody who that's
That's
not,
one
that-
you don't want to do flat fee.
No.
You're gonna be working your ass off.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, yeah, and also it's highly publicized.
Well, and sometimes, I mean, you do
Charged
take
up
into
for it.
consideration. I'm sorry, Linz. You also take into consideration, John, don't you, about the person's financial situation
Well,
at
take,
times.
You take that into account, and you also, like in the pursuit of justice, so sometimes you discount fees because you want to pursue something because you're mad or because you don't think it's right. So there's some of that. Strachey and Oscar are friends. And so, they got a bunch of warriors in the firm, so they filed a bunch of motions. And, the only way you can tell if someone wants to fight you is square up with them and see if they really want to fight you. And that's not what happened. So
What do you think happened at the end of the day?
I mean, they filed a bunch of motions. They were worried about some of their
Who was
evidence
they?
going away.
Like
So-
you think they?
So they did a bunch of deps. I know they were doing deposition. Then they filed a motion to continue and two
The
motions
defense
to
did.
suppress. The defense did. Strachey's office did. So then they're worried about some evidence going away. They know this is going to be a dogfight. And so there was a compromise at the last minute.
What do you think caused the compromise? The prosecution just said suddenly, "Hey, we think the Oscar should be treated like everybody else," or were they nervous about something?
Well, so like when you have a high-profile case that's getting old and you're tired of it and you're the judge, chances are you don't want a continuance. So you also have a judge that is from Newton County. Strachey's not super familiar with him. Levko, I know, is not familiar with him. What was he going to do? That was the motion to continue the trial, and it was supposed to go to trial next week. So
and it never ended up getting heard.
yeah,
They ended up doing the plea.
They plea out. So
Do you think the judge said something?
well,
He could have been like, let's get this
Right.
thing
Why are
figured
we?
out.
Why is this going on? Right.
You could talk to the judge in chambers. So the judge was probably like, listen, you guys need to work this out because I saw your motion continue and I'm not granted. So you guys need to work it out. Something to that effect could happen. You don't really know.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
but
crazy.
it was justice prevailed, but it took a long time.
All right.
Hey,
Yeah.
where does this leave? Who was the guy who announced his candidacy for sheriff 3 years in advance?
Chief Flores.
How's he
Thanks,
feeling?
John. I gotta
How's he
roll, guys.
feeling?
All right,
this
see you,
morning?
John.
Later on.
He can still run,
Thanks,
John. I mean, because Oscar's termed out. So
Right. He'll run in
He's turned
2028.
out.
He can just
Okay.
run in 26.
Okay.
Yeah.
26. Excuse
John,
me.
thanks so much for coming in,
Thanks,
man.
brother.
I know you got to go to
Appreciate it.
court.
Thanks.
In court every day.
In court and at jail every day. That's what we used to
Every
say.
day.
When,
Off he
when we
goes.
used to have a Cantrell commercial.
It's coming back in the summer.
That's how we do it. We shame people into. Oh, really? I didn't know that.
Hibernation.
All
in
right,
the
thanks,
winter,
You and the
so-
bug guy. All right.
That's always a whirlwind when Cantrell comes in.
Yeah. Wow.
It's like a mini version of 4-8. It's like you.
Oh yeah, I think
just
it's
like-
even more out of control when Forat comes in.
Oh, it's easy, but he's like a little smaller, like palatable version.
Mini 4,
Yeah.
That
Yeah,
means
I could
that
see
sounds
that.
like fluoride is not palatable.
Oh, he's very
palatable.
palatable for me, but it's definitely a little chaotic when he's on here.
Oh,
I love keep the the Notorious LMP cam. I'm loving it today.
You like that?
I
It's
like
the glasses,
I love
isn't
the
it?
glasses.
Thank you.
I love the hat. She looks so cute today.
The
Good job,
Victoria's
Linz.
glasses.
Oh, thanks.
Look at her.
So Forat asked if he could be on the show today because he just got back from Dubai, and I'm like, no fucking way. Like not with Cantrell and
No
Forat. That would be
way.
like a nuclear bomb.
John, did you we were trying to get Fluoride on from Dubai on a Skype, and it didn't work out time-wise.
Nice.
That'd have been awesome.
Yeah, it didn't work out because he was in a plane when we were on. So I guess we could have done a special, But anyway,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and do some ads. When we come back from ads, we're going to talk about a couple follow-up. Actually, the whole second half of the show is follow-ups from stories that we've covered and how they keep on
Raising
moving
their
along.
heads.
And we got to keep you updated, So let's go ahead and do some ads. I want to thank John Cantrell for coming in. It's always great to get a Lake County litigator's unique perspective on what's going on.
Love seeing Johnny Law.
Yeah. So we're coming again live from Powering Indiana Lake County Studios. IBW Local 697 and NECA proudly bring you Powering Indiana Lake County. With over a century of experience, they've been safely wiring the region. From powering corporations along the lakefront to lighting up homes across Lake County, Powering Indiana Lake County is your trusted source for electrical professionals. Join them as they continue to light the way for Northwest Indiana. Visit Powering Indiana Lake County at www.poweringindiana.org.
All right, Tortillas Nuevo Leon sets the gold standard in Mexican cuisine across the Midwest. Look for our iconic red and white label at your local grocery store. Indulge in the finest Mexican products crafted with local expertise and savor the taste of authenticity. Discover the flavors of Tortilla Nuevo Leon today.
Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia de todo corazón. Tortillas Nuevo León, hechas con amor, para ti y tu familia, de todo corazón.
MCR Partners. Are you seeking expertise in economic development, finance, and planning? Look no further than MCR Partners, your go-to professionals for comprehensive solutions. Their dedicated team is ready to assess your opportunities and ensure the successful completion of your projects. Discover the difference MCR Partners can make in navigating the intricacies of economic development. Stay informed and connected by visiting their website at mcrpartnersllc.com. That's mcrpartnersllc.com. For personalized assistance, reach out to Matt Reardon at 219-741-9511.
Byway Brewing, a family-friendly microbrewery, welcomes you to their spacious taproom and outdoor patio. Enjoy award-winning craft beers, a chef-driven menu, and craft draft cocktails. Their unique brewing equipment and production facility provides a perfect backdrop for private events, whether it's a bridal shower, a reunion, or a corporate party. With their new food truck, they can cater to your corporate or private events off-site. Customer service is their top priority at Byway Brewing. Just off of 8094 at the Kennedy Avenue South exit, discover more at bywaybrewing.beer.
Kuklakis Law. Are you currently navigating complex legal challenges and unsure of where to turn for guidance? Your search ends here with Kuklakis Law, your trusted partner for legal solutions in Indiana and Illinois. Whether you're seeking expert representation for real estate transactions, need assistance in forming your business, or have experienced a personal injury at work or in a car crash, Kuklakis Law is here for you. No matter the nature of your legal issue, our team is ready to help. Call us today at 219-671-6347 to schedule your free consultation. Hablamos Español.
Rogers Roofing. When you demand nothing but the best for your home and family, trust the industry leader, Rogers Roofing. For over 54 years, they've been transforming homes in Northwest Indiana and Chicagoland. Their commitment to quality shines through in their roofing, siding, gutters, and windows, all backed by the most comprehensive warranties in the business. Visit their website at rogersroofing.com or call 219-933-9145 to schedule your free consultation. That's rogersroofing.com or 219-933-9145. At Rogers Roofing, we expect nothing less than excellence every time.
Elevate your brand with Misprint, the premier printing and sign solution in Chicagoland and Northwest Indiana. With a 30-year legacy of excellence, their experienced team, led by Rick Baltensberger, combines innovation and technology to deliver top-quality signs and printing, always on time and within budget. Visit them at misprintusa.com to bring your vision to life today. Misprint, your partner for creating impactful visual solutions.
Ooh,
that
and that was one of your worst
That was
ones
a weak
ever.
one.
That's something I would do.
They slammed together.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And don't let them anywhere near your microphone stands.
Apparently, yeah. It's time to it's time to experience Michelob Ultra with only 95 calories, 2.6 carbs, and 4.2% alcohol by volume. The perfect way to start 2024 and keep those resolutions in check. It doesn't matter if you're kicking back after a workout, hitting a pickup game at the park, or heading out for a day on the slopes. Be sure to enjoy a superior light beer that's only worth it if you enjoy it. Michelob Ultra is brewed to be a complement to your healthy lifestyle. So head over to Cal Brew or the Michelob Ultra websites or social media pages for details on this great family of beers. Enjoy the Ultra lifestyle with beers and cheers responsibly.
Prestmer Insurance Company. For decades, the Ron J. Prestmer Insurance Agency has been your trusted neighbor right on Indianapolis Boulevard, serving all your insurance needs. Their wide range of insurance products and services, including auto, home, business, and life insurance, have helped over 1,000 individuals and businesses throughout Chicagoland and the Midwest, including Lockpod. Call Ron or Ronnie today at 219-844-0103. They're here to protect what matters most to you.
And Committee to Electronic Retirement.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah, good people. Good people.
Yeah, Prestmer Insurance Agency. City of Hammond, one of their clients.
Absolutely.
In multiple instances.
I want to just wrap a bow around the Oscar story real quick.
Please.
As happy as I am just for him to have it over with, I'm also kind of like you said, I'm a little proud that we did a good job kind of discussing what we thought was going to happen.
Well, let me tell you. I mean,
We had a lot of time to cover.
I mean, do you know how
what
many times
thought was
people?
gonna happen.
2 years.
Yeah. That's
Yeah,
a long
right.
Time to speculate.
How many times do you think we? I mean, I think we brought it up but we were always consistent about it. I
6
think.
seasons worth of material with us. 3 seasons a year. We've been talking about it for 2 years.
Yeah,
6 seasons.
I mean, do you know how many people said to me, when Oscar goes down,
I know
Tom's going to be the sheriff, right?
People were like coming up to me,
constant,
and I was like, I want Oscar. In fact, Oscar's going to be on this show. He promised me we're going to get the exclusive. On
nice.
He
what?
What? Wait,
he didn't want to do. He didn't want to do today. Yeah, do that.
Breaking Lockpod news: Sheriff Oscar Martinez will be on the show next. Well, we don't know when.
Soon
enough.
Soon.
Eventually.
To tell his story
Eventually.
with his words from
Well,
his mouth.
Wow.
So Oscar, when we were talking, because he was blowing my phone up, and him and I missed each other, and I finally got back to him.
But by the
Sunday.
way, that's not unusual. You guys talk a lot.
No, we talk a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
And then, like, it's no big deal if I call him and he doesn't pick up, because I know eventually he'll call back, and that's how it was. It was just over a weekend. We were just missing each other. And then, and I never wanted to ask him to be on the show. Obviously, he's, facing criminal charges. Sure. Even though they're bullshit criminal charges, he's still facing them. So I didn't want, and I knew he wouldn't come on anyway. So as soon as this was over, I called him. I'm like, hey, man.
You're a great marketer.
Would you come on Lockpod tomorrow, like today? And he's like, Tom. Like, I just finished this thing.
That is such a Tom thing.
Tom,
by
I'm
the
in
way.
court still. Can I call you back later?
Yeah.
you're
He's
the
not
judge.
picking up, man.
I know. But he was like, I will. I just,
Yeah.
Strachey told me not to
I
for
think
a
that's
couple.
fair.
A
Let
couple.
it just simmer.
But
a little
I
bit.
was like, give me the exclusive. He's like, you got the exclusive. I promise you.
Nice.
So
Wow.
Oscar's gonna be in here soon.
That's
Okay,
great.
and he literally was like, you guys, it went down just like you said. He told me that,
I'm
and it was
happy,
like,
I'm
he was
happy about that.
I knew Oscar was listening. I'm sure anybody would listen, just to make sure that like friends aren't turning on him and stuff like that. But
But
there
now all
was-
the rumors about you being sheriff can be put to
I
rest.
never one time said that.
I know.
never one
I
time
know.
said
I
I was in
know.
her. By the way,
You do not want my father in the position of a police officer. Okay?
like Lynn's, I know, right? Lynn's knows better than anybody. But like, I have a lifestyle that doesn't coincide with law enforcement. Okay,
Fiber gummies.
right?
Yeah.
he's constipated.
Right. But like, what I'm saying is, until we get this whole stupidity on the marijuana laws straightened, I don't think I'd be appropriate for me.
Dad
I
refuses to be a
don't
cop.
I don't view that law as just and legal. I think it's absolutely insane, and I would be responsible as the sheriff for enforcing it. I never bought into that.
Yeah.
Now, there's other positions that, obviously the Mayor of Hammond, like as the Mayor of Hammond, let me tell you, there are certain people that we have to drug test in the city of Hammond, like DOT drivers, they have to by federal law be drug tested. So we drug test them. If they come back guilty, dirty on marijuana, they're in trouble. Okay. Even though I personally don't agree. And even though that driver,
You're still going to follow the law.
I have to follow the law. But you know what's interesting? I don't believe Hammond cops or Hammond firefighters get drug tested. Isn't that funny? I don't know if the Lake County Sheriff's Office gets drug tested. Like, it's stupid. We need to fix that law in Indiana, and people are getting in trouble. And we're about to cover a story.
Well, like John just said, like people get their young lives ruined if
yeah,
they
you
from
have
a
vape
possession.
pen. A vape pen
Yeah.
for anybody that smokes marijuana. A vape pen is so mild. It's like drinking a light beer. Okay, a vape pen. You would have to work hard to get high off a vape pen. It's like if you drink Bud Light, would you get? I did the right one.
Yeah, Bud Light.
Ultra.
Michelob Ultra.
Michelob Ultra.
There you go.
Right.
I'm
If
sorry.
you drink
We're talking
Michelob
about
Light Ultra,
a political statement,
right?
there.
If you're drinking light beer, you know, like if you drink one, it's not going to touch you, right? It's just like a vape pen. If you take a couple hits off a vape pen, it's not going to touch you, right? If you drink 20 light beers, though, you'll get drunk. And if you hit a vape pen all day long, you'll get high,
Whoa.
right? But vape pens are very it's like light beer. And if you get caught with a vape pen, John's saying you get charged with a controlled substance. That's unbelievable. This is stuff that we have to fix. Because you know how many people driving around Northwest Indiana right now have vape pens? 25% of the population, if not higher.
Wow.
Okay? And like we're going to charge 25% of our population with controlled substance, and then maybe if you're lucky enough to be, singled out like Oscar was, you'll get torn through the legal system for 2 years. It's freaking insane. We have bigger things. People are dying of fentanyl, and we're persecuting Oscar for driving too fast, and we're persecuting other people for having marijuana. It's insane. I couldn't sign on to that as the sheriff, and that was the original question. I couldn't sign on to that as sheriff. There's other offices I think I could sign on to that even with the laws the way they are, but I can't do it as law enforcement.
Well,
sorry, I went off on a
That's okay.
tangent.
No, it's fine. We're going to look forward
Dad
to
has a lot of
getting Oscar,
feelings.
and he's drinking a lot of coffee today.
Lindsay, people were saying that constantly to me.
Oh, my
and
God.
I was like,
well, I heard it, I think, once, and I was like, what about my father makes you think he'd make a good cop?
He's very pro-police.
I am
so I could
pro-police.
see-
But that's about it. I mean, yeah, like you
That's
said, your
about it.
lifestyle, and like that's it. Like, I don't know. I don't see you in like a cop role, but also I would not want to see you. In
You
a
know when
cop
I knew it was
role.
for pervasive? When it was pervasive? When my 82-year-old dad, who is not political, came to me and said, "Is the mayor going to be the sheriff? I heard it
know.
at the coffee shop
I know,
today."
man.
I was like,
At the coffee
"What?"
shop.
Kevin,
Yeah, right?
Kevin and I were out at
was like-
we might have been pre-showing or something. We were at Cafe Borgia,
Okay.
and one of our
Yes.
comes
Guys,
up and says, "Thanks, sheriff."
No,
like,
God.
are you?
And I'm like, "What?" Like and I want Oscar, and I'm sure Oscar's listening. Okay, there's nothing I did to stoke that fire. I did nothing
agree.
to stoke that fire.
I agree.
Other than be Tom. And defend the sheriff. I did nothing. I never told one person I was interested in that. I did. Every time it was brought to me, I said the same thing every single time. It was getting printed in the paper.
Yeah.
People were
I don't
I don't
talking
think
about
people
it.
believe me when I said he's not. He's
like-
never told.
like,
If,
what do
said,
I have
"Listen,
to do?"
Tom doesn't tell me 100% of the things that are in Tom's head, but he's never mentioned it to me.
Dude, there was nothing. Like, I never saw that seriously at all. It never was entertaining, and I never wanted Oscar to get in trouble, not one time. I wanted Oscar to prevail and to make this whole prosecution look ridiculous, and he did that.
Well, I'm
But
glad we talked about that because
I'm
I
glad
think
I
that's
did
been
too.
going around.
I
and-
know, man.
yeah.
It was so annoying. There was nothing I did to stoke that fire. It was just stupidity, and a couple
rumor.
people start whispering, and then all of a sudden it's like a rumor, you know?
Yeah.
Paul
Well, let's talk
Goddard.
about happy things like your
Yes.
shirt.
The reason I'm wearing a dad shirt, Lynn's, we spent Lockpod money yesterday.
Oh,
Yeah, we're going to Friday night show at the Sphere to see Dead and Company.
I cannot
going?
wait.
Sure.
oh, I'm not invited.
You're holding down the
could-
home.
do you wanna go
fires.
out? I
You're
mean,
holding-
honestly-
Go Lindsay Cam here.
I don't care if you go. I don't
It's
care
a-
if you go.
Oh, I gotta pay to go to Vegas though. Huh?
Oh,
You
yeah.
gotta do that.
We all paid to go to Vegas.
So
By the
who's-
way,
who's-
Lockpod did
who's-
not
who's
cover.
Going? Who's going on this
Many.
trip?
Well, coincidentally, there's a work thing going right around the same time.
75% of the people in this room are going on that trip.
And and this is how I hear about it on air.
Lindsay's not strong at math, so
I'm very strong at math.
now you are after going to nursing school, right?
I'm strong in science and math strictly, and I have an English degree.
A
so
STEM
very-
girl. You're a STEM girl now.
I
She
am a
is now.
STEM lady. Yeah,
But you
women in
didn't.
STEM.
You weren't STEM when you graduated from IU, right?
Well, I was an English degree, so no, I never had a.
You got it. Honestly, you're one of the most educated people in
I'm
America.
a very well-rounded individual.
She is a Bachelor
Yes,
of Arts
you
and
are.
a
But
Bachelor of
that's not
Science.
going to. All these compliments are not going to distract me from the fact that you
Vince,
guys are
if you
going
wanna
to
go, you
Vegas
can
We
stay
thought
in
it
my
was
room.
I wasn't
working.
Babe,
invited.
if you want to go, you can stay in my room.
It's another boys.
That's how much I
trip.
love you. No.
No, it's not.
If you want to go, you could stay in my room.
How does that sound?
That sounds stinky, and I don't want to go.
Okay. I mean,
He offered.
the
Well,
invite-
I've got clinicals. I got to work on the ICU on Friday.
You
so.
just hold down the fort here.
It's in May.
Sure, guys.
It's in May.
yeah.
I'm more than happy to hold down the fort.
Yeah, but
I was able to get into the portal, and
I know.
it was awesome.
I liked how we did it. It was
Yeah.
really smart how we did it.
Yeah.
We went secondary, and we went because we all had queue numbers, but I didn't trust that process, so I just started buying them on the secondary market because I didn't want to take a chance.
I agree.
And I think for a secondary market price, they were repulsively high, but I think they're going to be higher as the concert approaches.
We'll find out.
I think I saved probably $1,000.
Oh, that'd be
Steve
nice.
sent I remember Steve's picture. He was like 4,000 in the queue, or there's some ridiculously high number. Like he was never getting tickets, but then he eventually got them, didn't he?
He did. And John, when I signed on the queue, I was 441.
So we have 42 tickets to Grateful Dead.
Yeah.
in May. If anyone wants
We
to
bought
go,
out the section.
$1,000 a piece.
With the floor seats.
Well, you guys got your tickets. Brian and I were in a very stressful ticket buying situation recently.
What show?
Do tell.
Well, so they're trying. There was a band called Sleep Token, and it's really popular amongst the youths.
The Utes.
The youths, and apparently Ticketmaster and the youths don't like each other. So that was a very stressful situation because they're trying to eliminate Ticketmaster from like ticket sales.
That's
happened before. Pearl Jam,
Oh,
others.
yeah.
Remember
And
that?
it got really stressful because people's like they were getting like pre-sale codes and they weren't being sent out properly or they weren't working.
Is the band name Peoples?
Sounds like a conspiracy.
No, the band's called Sleep Token.
All right. Did anybody get Sleep Token tickets in our chat?
Did.
John, did you get your Liam Gallagher tickets?
I did.
Nice.
Yeah.
Didn't he made news recently for like walking out on an interview again?
I didn't see that.
Oh.
Lindsay, do you like the band Shinedown?
Yeah.
Nice.
Just wondering.
Why?
I'm just
No
wondering.
reason.
Hey,
okay.
Where do I fly into, by the way, for Brooklyn? Like, isn't there
Las
like two
Vegas.
airports?
Yeah.
No,
Las
Liam.
Vegas.
Liam in New York, Brooklyn.
You could fly. No, you just fly into
LaGuardia?
Is it LaGuardia or
I think
Newark?
Marissa flies into. No, she flies in. Yeah, she does fly into LaGuardia.
LaGuardia. But that's for Long Island. He's saying to Brooklyn. Is it
No,
any,
it's all
any,
it's all
it's
the
all,
same.
It's all
yeah.
the same.
Yeah,
You're
you can
good.
fly
Take
into
the
JFK.
subway.
You can fly into JFK, but Marissa flies.
Marissa will tell us. She's in chat.
Marissa
Yeah.
flies Southwest to LaGuardia, and that's for her. And she goes to. I mean, it's all close, John.
Yeah, I don't
Brooklyn.
fly Southwest anymore.
Really?
Remember, I got thrown up
you
on.
got thrown up on that time.
Wow.
That could have been on United
That
too,
wasn't-
dude.
Could've
People
been.
throw up,
the
John.
like the plane's fault. That's a
I know.
person's
But
fault.
in first class, I mean, there's no first class on Southwest. I don't think that would have happened in first
You're our
class.
pimp.
All right.
No.
Dude, you know how expensive
Vastly
kids are.
underestimate.
John and Amy are
overestimate.
freaking pimps because they've made the decision long ago that they're just going to be supporting 2 people. I
Instead
made a
of-
decision to
instead of
support
7.
6, and I'm in the poorhouse.
Brooklyn and Queens are on Long Island. So what is it?
Yeah.
That's Marissa said. So
You're fine either way.
Go to LaGuardia, dude.
You could actually. I
well, I
bet
don't want to fly into like a terrible airport. Like, what's the better
JFK
airport?
will be closer, probably. Being honest, but like I didn't know you gave up on Southwest, so you're gonna have to because Southwest doesn't.
So
fly
how are
to
you going to
JFK.
fly to Vegas? Are you not taking Southwest to Vegas?
I'll probably just meet you guys out there in a different.
Are you driving
John's
again?
going to drive.
No, I'm not going to drive.
So
No.
take this
Dude, that-
Alfa Romeo.
John is.
He's
the
like
time-
really against Southwest.
Man, one time you get thrown up on.
One little vomit episode.
It wasn't just that. Then
You would never make it as a
30
nurse.
minutes later, 30 minutes later, there's a kid running up and down the aisle.
See, this is
People have kids.
This is a person without kids.
I
There's
know.
a
hold
lot
on.
of,
People
like,
have kids.
No, and this is
Kid
how it
complaints.
affected a person without kids. Amy's sitting in the aisle seat. The kid is running, clips her foot, breaks her toenail off.
Oh boy.
Shit!
It's just like a
Completely?
terrible flight.
That was a terrible
Why
flight.
is she wearing
See, if-
open
Why
toe
am I
shoes
on a plane with all these
airplane?
peasants? is
Yeah,
what
Don't
I'm-
she's
blame
probably
Amy,
wearing
Linz.
sandals.
Yeah, she was wearing sandals. Yeah.
Right.
Never wear. Oh, I don't like to wear open-toed anything in a
Really?
close,
Well,
compact.
well, Amy
area.
doesn't subscribe to your theories.
I
How
guess
about
that's
that?
true.
Yeah.
She
You be
does
you.
now, probably.
I like to keep the dogs clean.
No, that she's
you know?
got a black toenail.
Yeah.
She does.
No licking her
Those
legs. I'll tell you
toes.
that. Yeah.
It's just her toenail, John. It's not her legs. And I don't lick Marissa's toenails. I can tell you that.
Well, I'm pumped about the Sphere.
I am too.
I mean, that is going to be so cool, and I can't wait actually for you to get back from the Sphere
I know.
on
Give you the
for
heads
your
up.
fish show to let us know what it's like,
I know.
and to be like, we're going to be good.
I'm like
or,
sphered out. I'm going to be sphered out.
I don't think so. It's
No,
hard to be.
I'll be honest with you because we're lucky enough to coincidentally be in Las Vegas during opening weekend. It's amazing coincidence. I've been going to this conference for years, and it happens to be the same time,
It's
which
not a
is wonderful.
coincidence, Tom.
It's
meant to
fate.
it's a
be.
wonderful
It's karma.
It's a wonderful coincidence that it happened. It really is. But I'm going to Vegas 2 months in a row, which is very strange. And then, to be honest, I imagine this isn't the only time I'm going to see the Dead. To be honest, I imagine I'll
no,
catch another show after
Yeah,
this weekend.
You have seen those guys so many times. You're basically a groupie at this point.
and they added some shows in July.
And they said all their shows would be different too every weekend. So like if you
That's
go
a
to
lot
see,
of planning.
well, yeah, that's
But
how
that's
they
a
do
Dead
that.
though. That's how
That's
they
a
do
Dead.
it. That's how they do it
I was
every
worried
time.
that they would have to because they're in the Sphere. I was worried that they'd have to do a set list, which they never do. But they're gonna.
I don't think they're going to. Lindsay,
They're
if
not.
you
They
look
already
at, like,
said
for
they're
example,
not.
if you went to Dead and Company last year or the last 2 years when they toured, I bet
No,
you
yeah,
would not
every-
be able to find
they just
a
play
set list
what-
that's identical.
Or sometimes
play
you
what
can't
they
even hear the
want.
same song twice on a tour.
Yeah,
like
that's true.
I saw 6 of their stops last year. I'd be interested if there was any common songs between the six. There's probably a couple common
Couple,
songs.
I bet.
Drums in Space doesn't count, by the way.
No, I agree.
So, hey, we got a story about Southern California marijuana, the black market marijuana.
Oh, you want to do that?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
I mean, we don't have to spend that.
No, we're not going to spend a lot of time
It's
on
just
it.
interesting because, you know, there is a black market for pot, even in legal states. And in this case, there was a massacre in the desert. Kevin pulled this article up. It's pretty scary.
Yeah, I think
Why do people like weed so much that they're willing to kill multiple people for it?
The weed that you buy, it's regulated from the state, is expensive. So these people are just trying to get a good deal, and it's black market, so you don't pay the taxes, and the taxes are extreme.
And the reason there's a lot of cash involved, Lynn. So I think one of the reasons is you want to control the market. You want to control that black market. So you're fighting over a ton of money. So that's why people kill each other, because it's underground stuff.
It
right?
seems like killing for weed is different. Like, I don't understand, like,
they're killing for the weed
meth
market.
or something,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, they're not killing for the drug. They're killing for the market. Right.
Mm-hmm.
But, you know, honestly, like anybody that smokes marijuana had to use the black market most of their lives, or as long as they used the product.
Yeah,
right?
Their dealer.
But
their
ever
guy.
since it's gone legal,
Or
I've
gal.
never had to deal with that.
I think
like
the
not
interesting,
even one time.
The interesting thing about this,
dealers were put out of their jobs.
But like, think about how dangerous that situation is. That like a good person that wants to get a gummy has to go to a freaking drug dealer that deals cocaine and fentanyl and, you know, God knows what
people
else
used to get
buy
killed.
something
Yes,
as
people
mild
still
as
get killed, I should say.
If you had to buy Bud Light from somebody and you had to go to a drug dealer to buy Bud Light, you'd be like, this is a dangerous situation I'm putting myself in, right?
You don't know who you're dealing with.
You're
sometimes.
dealing with criminals sometimes. People right out of prison.
So the interesting thing about this, I guess, when I found this article was that I guess in my mind, I just thought, oh, California, it's been legal for a long time. The market is the market.
Right.
The stores are all over the place. It's like seeing a corner
Ridiculous.
market, basically, right?
Yeah.
It's like they're literally
like
all over the
Starbucks.
place. Yeah. And so it's kind of, I just accepted the fact in my mind that marijuana in California was just all bought legally.
Right.
And little did I know that this stuff's going on. And this was like, so just real quick, because I don't want to take too long. We got a couple of really funny clips to end the show, which I want to see. But there were 6 people killed in the desert, and it's not the first time over, like Lindsay said, the weed market. And some of the stats that I found in this were just shocking. So this is one of the stats. In the last year alone, the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, that's just one county in California, San Bernardino County. I'm not sure where that is. It's near L.A., Tom?
Down south, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, real close to L.A.
And said its marijuana enforcement teams served 411 search warrants. That's more than one a day.
Wow.
Right?
Wow.
For illegal marijuana grows. And with those warrants, they found 655,000 plants and 74,000 pounds of processed marijuana.
Man. Well, where my sister lives,
that's a black market. One county in California.
Like where my sister lives, it's she lives up by Humboldt, okay, and that's famous amongst potheads. Humboldt,
the Emerald Triangle.
Yeah,
always talk about?
yeah. Lindsay's been up there. Like where my sister lives,
gorgeous.
What do they call that? There's like something about there's like a marijuana term for the valley. Or
you just said it.
I'm sorry,
Emerald Triangle.
Thank you.
Right,
that's it.
Bingo. So when you're up there, though, because like where we live, it's hard to imagine that you could grow like acres and acres of weed illegally where we live, because we're in a city.
Right.
And it's a concrete jungle.
Everybody can see everything.
Everybody can see everything. Even like down in southern Indiana where there's farms and stuff, you could see it, right? Mm-hmm. When you're in craggy mountains with windy roads and abandoned trails, like there's fire roads that are never used. But you could get on an ATV and easily access them. People just don't. Usually, we use fire roads for bike trails out there, mountain biking. But you go on some of these fire roads and you get way back into the mountains, you could have acres of weed grown illegally. And there's thousands of them like that. So it doesn't surprise me that they're serving with search warrant a day.
Yeah, and this is what they said. And by the way, you were pretty close. It was a 2016 legislation that Proposition 64 to legalize it. So it's been 7 years, right? Growers at illegal sites can avoid the expensive licensing fees and regulatory costs associated with legal farms. Good point. Violence is a looming threat at these operations because illicit harvests yield huge quantities of cash to operators who can't use banks or law enforcement for protection. And black markets thrive anywhere there's demand.
They literally guard them. There's usually they're people from south of the border, illegals, and they'll hire them and they'll pay them a large amount of cash to guard these grows. They camp out there, and if you go in the wrong place,
if you hike in the wrong place,
yeah, you're dead.
Yeah,
they'll kill you if they see you. because you know where it is, and you're not supposed to know where it is.
It's almost like
And
this is my territory, and
don't go there.
Yeah.
If you go there accidentally, you're in bad trouble. So like, you don't go places where you don't know where you're at, because if you stumble upon one of these illegal grows, there's people there that literally live by them that will kill you.
And that's the other thing you don't realize, I think, about California is, you think of the coast, but there's a lot of desert,
dude,
in California.
Oh yeah, down south.
lot
But where
of
I lived
desert.
up north,
and a lot of
It's
forests
just
and
nothing but
mountains, and
trees.
yeah,
the mountains are so, like where my sister lives, you could, yeah. There's
you could
no
probably
law
leave
enforcement.
a body in the middle of like the
If you went off the road 10 feet,
and
you would
just
never
left
find
there,
it.
Nobody would find it.
there'd be no reason to go there. There's nothing there. It's a mountain and like a really crappy road. When my sister first moved there, we couldn't even get cell phone. I'm like, I felt like I was camping at her house. I'm like, what the fuck do you guys do here? Like, there's nothing. There was no cell phone. There was no Wi-Fi. They lived on a mountain, and their closest neighbor was miles away. And I was just
nice,
like,
though.
now, it's awesome. In the
gorgeous.
nighttime, you can't beat it, man. It's like you're seeing,
sky.
you see the
star.
Milky Way.
Yeah,
Like, I'm not
it
even
is.
kidding. It's freaking unbelievable.
All right, so anyway, that's what's going on. It was interesting to me. I'm glad we talked about it a little bit, and I couldn't
John,
just
were you
believe
gonna
the
say something?
volume.
Yeah, I was gonna say this literally is the plot of No Country for Old Men.
Right.
Have you guys seen
Is
that
it?
movie?
No. Is
So-
it good?
Yes, it's fucking amazing.
I'm gonna
Here's
write
what
it
I'm going
down.
to say. There's a seventh person somewhere out there with a bag of money. It could be an innocent bystander, like in No Country for Old Men, or another
Well, spoiler,
criminal here
bro.
that just took six men ended up dead. There's one with the bag of money
Really?
out here.
Okay. I'm
Oh,
going to
No
watch that
Country for Old
movie.
Men is
I'm
unbelievable.
by the way, I just
Javier
got,
Bardem, Woody Harrelson. It's unbelievable.
okay, I'm going to watch it. I also need a TV show to watch.
I just watched Netflix. I just watched Beef, all
Is it
10
good?
episodes. It's good.
What is
the
it?
ending, it's
Beef?
Beef.
Oh, you told me about that. I want to watch
yeah,
that.
it's good. The
Tom.
end.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Kevin. Sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I was just going to say in Beef. It's interesting. Number one, first time I think I've ever seen all Asian cast. It's like all
Nice.
right. So that was interesting. Two, I thought it was really good through the first 8. The last 2 were okay.
Okay.
But it's good. It's about basically just chance encounter between
And it's not about the meat. It's about a beef.
a beef
a
between 2
argument.
people. Yeah, they end up
And
like
it's like irrational. The person.
started at a parking lot in a hardware store.
Gotcha.
And it
turns
just goes
into,
from there and how their lives intertwine. It's crazy.
Okay.
It's good.
Cool. I'm going to watch that.
Yep.
And
I got
I just
one
got
for you,
done
Tom.
watching Beckham, which is a
I've seen it.
4-part.
So good.
Yeah. Really, really good. Netflix Beckham. If you haven't seen it, it's worth it.
If
And
you
I'm
like
not-
if you
I'm
like
not a
soccer, you'll
football
love
fan.
it. If you don't like football, you will still love it.
It's really, really good.
I'll
And
recommend
he
one
seems
also.
like a really great person, by the way. Like, it wasn't.
David Beckham.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's really
He's
good.
married to a Spice Girl.
Yes,
Posh
she's in it.
Spice. Yeah, she's in it a lot. It honestly, it was really, really
Good for
good.
him.
It's worth watching. Netflix is Beckham. Marissa got me into it, and I'm real glad she told me to. So
And I agree with Jill and chat. I'm watching Masters of the Air as well on Apple TV.
I started
Plus.
watching that.
So good.
I saw the first episode.
I've
Is
not
the
seen
second
it yet.
Really good. Every episode is pretty gripping.
really? Okay. There's
and,
only 2, right?
There's 3 out right now.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then Monsieur Spade I started watching on AMC Plus with Clive Owen.
All right.
Fantastic.
Okay, so we got some TV shows to watch. That's a good little clip. I was thinking on Lockpot we should get a movie, movie critic.
Oh.
There's a guy that writes an Indiana Lawyer. Do you read that, Kevin?
I don't read it as much as I should.
Hammerly?
Steve reads it a lot.
I thought-
Hammerly, yeah, he's in there.
He's
yeah,
great,
there.
man.
Yeah,
We should get that guy on our show.
that'd be good.
I bet you he'd do it.
He would do it.
And he's not famous, but I read him all the time.
Famous
He covers-
enough. We
and
all knew who he was.
I like him. I bet you he would come on the show.
I bet he would.
Let's do that, Steve.
Steve will.
This is not a bullshit one, Steve. I
Steve
give Steve
Sursick might be able to track him too.
Really?
So either Steve
I think
or
we should
Steve.
get that guy, and we bring him on, and we'll just talk about like
Indiana
movies.
Lawyer, the law,
Right.
movies.
Yeah,
Be good.
I like it.
All right, wrap us. Okay, so we
got
Tom
2
and
clips.
Tom and I each chose a clip. Actually, John, thank you for this clip. This is courtesy of Jay Vez.
Believe it or not.
Marjorie Taylor Greene. She's been pushing this impeachment of President Biden and impeachment of Mayorkas and others. And so here she is with some great speech in the English language with the word indictable. Let's see what she does.
Deal with the commission of indictable crimes and the
Oh, no.
abuse of deal with the commission of indictable crimes and the abuse of power,
Moron.
She needs
corruption and injury to the nation caused.
If she grew up in Northwest Indiana, she would know the actual pronunciation is indictable.
It's a silent C.
Congresswoman. It's
Very nice,
indictable.
MTG. We love you.
Okay. And then this one, it was a funny clip on SNL this week. I thought this was a classic, so I had to put it on.
You want to wrap up the show, and then we'll just go out with this? Or you want to come back?
I'll wrap it up when we come back.
Right.
This is funny. So this was that's Michael Che on Saturday Night Live. I didn't watch this. Somebody sent it to me. Thank you, by the our Lock Pod fans.
Yes.
Are so good about sending us articles and all that, and we read everything we get. So
Thank you, Lock Pod World.
It doesn't always make the cut, but this one came from a fan. So
keep it coming.
Chicago became the largest U.S. city to call for a ceasefire in Gaza, and in return, Gaza called for a ceasefire in Chicago.
That is so good.
Gaza, that would be so classic.
Good.
It's funny because it's real.
I know, right? That'd be so funny if they got together like, we want a ceasefire in Chicago.
Let's negotiate this.
If you do a ceasefire in Chicago, we'll stop bombing Gaza.
That
right?
is some good SNL writing right there.
That is so
really good.
freaking good. It is very ironic that Chicago did a resolution, and it was contentious as hell.
It's tied. The mayor had to break the vote. It was 23-23.
What?
Yes. Mayor had to break the vote, and he voted in favor of.
I think Chicago has so many
resolution.
damn problems. They should stay out of world affairs.
I agree.
Yeah.
I was thinking about it myself. I'm like, oh, awesome! You're going to send the resolution to Washington,
right?
Yeah. Like, worry about. I mean, and by the way, I'm a Chicago fan. I love Chicago.
I love Chicago.
Love Chicago. It is not. And like when you're out of town and people are like, "Is Chicago safe?" I'm like, I go there all the
Dude,
time.
I get that all. I get that all the time.
But at the same time, it's like, look, just
The answer's
focus
no.
on John. Focus on what you got to focus.
When's the last
on,
time you
which
went to Chicago, John?
It's been a while.
last week?
No,
Is it because you don't want? Are you because of the what you've heard about it? You're sort of afraid. No offense. I'm not trying to make you sound wimpy, but
Yeah, no, I mean, it's not that I'm afraid, but yeah, I do think crime's a problem. I also have just never been like a fan of Chicago outside of going to concerts.
How about you, Linz?
Not my big cities aren't my really thing, man.
I'm not a big city person either. I always make Brian drive when we go in there.
Wide
when was yours?
space.
Kev?
Week and a half, 2 weeks.
Yeah, I'm always up there.
Yeah.
I'm there
Really?
regularly. Always.
Like what?
Marissa and
Like,
I.
what are you doing?
Shop,
Dinner.
eat.
Kevin shops there more than I do. I go for dinner. Like I like going to
Dad
restaurants
and
in
Marissa
Chicago.
go,
Visit
and
friends.
they
I still
take
got a bunch of
Patrick
friends up
with
there.
To the fancy restaurants.
Patrick's been staying home a lot lately.
Oh well, he's old enough to do that now, I guess.
Yeah.
But
But I love,
Oh, sorry.
the last time I saw something in Chicago that scared me was during the pandemic.
Yeah. I
When there
agree.
was
It's
nobody
been-
downtown.
That was. I had a little bit of a scary episode.
That was
as well,
freaky,
but
right? I felt like I was in like the zombie apocalypse or something.
Same.
Yeah,
Same.
I did not like that feeling. Usually when you're in Chicago, you have 100 people walking by you at all times. Marissa and I were walking after one of our dinners during the pandemic,
Yeah.
and there was like the only people on the street were the weird ones.
It was people that didn't have anywhere else to go.
You're like, oh shit.
Yep.
Like, this is
I
a
had the
very
same
weird
experience.
I was like totally like zombie apocalypse flashbacks.
It was like a Saturday morning for me too. It was like
freaky.
daytime.
Yeah, if you're in a city and there's nobody there, that's scary shit.
It's weird.
Right? I'd rather be in a city with 1 million people. So thanks to everybody for listening to Lock Pod, Midwest's Most Dangerous Podcast, where we give you actual news like 2% of the time. And it's accurate 2% of the time.
and BS for the
No, no.
98%. Of
Yeah,
the time.
yeah.
2% of the news that's accurate 100% of
Just
the
like
time.
your milk.
2% of the news is accurate 100. That should be our new slogan.
That's it.
We give you 2% of the news and it's 100% accurate.
Nice.
That 2%. The other stuff is shaky.
It's a bullshit.
Yeah. Thanks, Linz. It's good to see you, babe. I
Thanks.
like your hat.
Thanks.
I like your whole Victoria's Secret look. I like it.
Oh,
Okay,
boy.
that's weird.
Yeah.
No,
Just
as a father,
Victoria's
a
Secret
proud
glasses, that's
father.
all.
Yes.
That's
Clip
all.
that, please.
That's
John.
it?
Yes.
It's
John,
the
can you please
glasses.
clip
It's
that?
the
just
glasses?
No, you guys make me sound
They're
creepy,
coming to
man.
Cherville.
I'm just like expressing my love for my daughter, and you guys are making it sound creepy.
You said I love
I
your
said I love your
Victoria's
Victoria's Secret look.
It-
What
it
do you
How is
expect
that
us
not
to say?
creepy?
weird.
She is wearing Victoria's Secret glasses.
I get that, but taking
That
it
is a little weird. I
As
agree.
somebody
Yeah.
receiving the compliment, it was a little weird.
Bust out the banjos. Right? That's what they do.
All right,
Now
everybody.
say it, Tom.
Yeah. I love your Victoria's Secret look, Lindsay.
Wow. Definitely.
Your daddy loves.
Oh,
Okay.
that, all right.
We need
Lindsay just vomited.
We need to stop leaning into these
All right.
jokes, please.
All right. Thanks,
An
Jay Vaz.
unfortunate
Gonna give her bed.
presentation. That
Shut
just
up, Todd
was.
Young.
You're gonna give Lindsay bad dreams again.
I already have bad
Thanks,
dreams.
babe. Good to see you, hon. Jay
Thanks.
Vaz, appreciate you.
Thank you.
Great job on the cover, by the way. I want to say it again. It's so nice to get an off show during the season,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's huge. So
Yeah.
thanks, John. Kevin, thanks. Another awesome job. We're putting together good shows. It doesn't even take us that long anymore.
It's a fun
Hey,
season.
we got to wrap this up. I got work to go.
Yeah, it's
to.
late. I got
Thanks,
people.
everybody. Appreciate you all.
Tom
Thanks
wants
for
to stay
listening to
here all
Lock Pod,
day.
the Midwest Most Dangerous Podcast. See you guys on Friday.